Another night scrolling through your screen, counting every like from those you deem free. I can smell the bitter stench of envy from here.
I'm not envious, sir. I'm just exhausted. Watching them bounce around everywhere, gym in the morning, coffee in the afternoon, weekend getaways, and me? Wake up to give mom her meds, come home to help my kid with homework. End of the month counting every penny for utilities.
Not envious. Then why do you memorize their schedules by heart? You track every story, every post, like an addict counting their last pills.
You don't understand. They get to choose. I don't have that luxury. Dad was hospitalized last year. I had to go back home. My wife had our baby. I had to stay. My younger sister needed tuition money. I had to lend it. I'm like a draft horse while they're birds in the sky.
A draft horse. Interesting metaphor. Do you know why racehorses run faster than wild horses? Because they have riders. Because they have tracks. Because they have a destination. And wild horses? They run aimlessly and die of thirst in the desert.
But at least wild horses are free. They run wherever they want. No one whips them. No one controls them.
Freedom. You use that word like it exists in a vacuum. That rapper you envy, is he free to spit bars or enslaved to algorithms, to views, to sponsorship deals? That influencer you crave to be, is she free to travel or imprisoned by content creation, by having to look perfect always, by being authentic according to script?
But they get to do what they love. What about me? I love to paint, but I'm stuck doing accounting. I want to write, but I'm trapped in meetings. I dreamed of being a photographer. Now I just take pictures of my kid with an old phone.
Ah, so the issue isn't freedom, but buried passion. You think those people you envy have no responsibilities. Gym bros eat like prisoners on strict regimens. Explorers prepare like soldiers for war. Content creators produce like factory workers. The difference is, they choose their chains, while you let chains choose you.
Easy to say. I can't abandon my elderly mother, my wife and kid, my little sister to chase some dream. I'm not that kind of irresponsible person.
Irresponsible. You use that word like a shield. But let me ask, are you being responsible or hiding behind the label of responsibility? Hiding from facing your fear of failure if you pursued art. Hiding from admitting you might not be talented enough.
You're talking like I'm a coward. I sacrificed my youth for my family.
Sacrifice or self-imprisonment? Did your mother tell you to become an accountant? Does your wife forbid you from painting? Does your child ban you from writing? Or did you nail yourself to the cross and then cry, "It's fate"?
I don't know anymore. I just know every morning I wake up feeling heavy. Watching others live makes me feel pathetic. I'm 30 years old and feel like I've never lived a single day for myself.
30 years as an extra in your own movie. If tomorrow you were completely free, no wife, no kid, no elderly mother, no little sister, what would you do? Specifically. Don't say, "Follow my passion." Be precise.
I don't even know anymore. It's been so long since I've allowed myself to think about it.
There it is. What you envy isn't others' freedom, but their clarity about what they want. That rapper isn't freer than you. He just knows what he wants and accepts the price. You use responsibility as an excuse to avoid the question, what do I actually want?
But even if I knew, so what? I still can't abandon everything. My mom needs me. My kid needs me.
Who said you have to abandon anything? That's the binary thinking of someone who wants to avoid making decisions. All or nothing. Why not ask, how can I paint while still doing accounting? How can I write while my kid sleeps? How can I take artistic photos with that same old phone?
Sounds easy, but I don't have time. I'm exhausted from morning to night.
Exhausted from work, or exhausted from resentment. Your energy burns up in comparison, envy, self-pity. You spend 2 hours every night scrolling Instagram, watching others live, but can't find 30 minutes to pick up a paintbrush.
I do scroll a lot. But that's how I unwind after a tough day.
Unwind by torturing yourself with other people's lives. You call that unwinding? That's self-poisoning. Every story you watch is a knife cutting into your self-worth. Every post you like is another brick in your wall of inadequacy.
So what do you suggest I do? Turn off my phone and stare at the void?
I'm telling you to choose. Choose one small thing. One 15-minute sketch before bed. One page of writing at 5 a.m. One photo each day on your commute. More importantly, choose the price you're willing to pay. Less sleep, less scrolling, less complaining.
But what if I do all that and still fail? What if I keep painting and still suck? Keep writing and no one reads?
Oh, so behind the responsibility mask is the fear of being mediocre. You're not afraid of not being free. You're afraid of having freedom and discovering you're nothing special. Much easier to blame circumstances, isn't it?
That really stings. But maybe you're right. I'm scared. Scared that trying and failing is worse than not trying at all.
Finally, some honesty. Let me tell you a secret. Those people you envy, rappers, influencers, gym bros, 90% of them are mediocre too. The difference is they accept their mediocrity and still do it, while you pretend to be special by doing nothing.
I never thought of it that way. I always figured you either had to be great or shouldn't bother.
Your ego is too big to accept starting from zero. Every rapper you envy once sucked at rapping. Every influencer had videos no one watched. They're free not because they lack responsibilities. They're free because they accept being bad and keep going.
So I've misunderstood freedom from the start? It's not about having no constraints, but choosing which constraints to bear?
Getting smarter already. Freedom isn't abandoning responsibility. Freedom is arranging responsibilities in the order you choose. Your kid still needs a father, one who's alive, not a resentful zombie. Your mother still needs her son, one with light in his eyes, not an exhausted ghost.
I never thought that pursuing what I love could be good for them, too. I always thought it was selfish.
Selfish is harboring resentment, then blaming them for your misery. Selfish is making yourself a martyr, then collecting payment through guilt. Living true to yourself is the gift, a model of courage to live.
Sad. But I've already wasted 30 years. Is it too late to start now?
Too late for what? To become a legend? Perhaps. Too late to live one day without regret? Not yet. You have 50 more years. Whether you waste them or start with the first 15 minutes, that's the only question.
15 minutes. That sounds doable. But I'm afraid I'll quit after a few days.
Of course you'll quit. Then start again. Then quit. Then start again. That's called a process, not failure. Each restart, you're a bit stronger, like a child learning to walk. Fall and stand, until you run.
I remember my kid learning to walk. They fell hundreds of times, but never thought they were failing. They just got back up.
Children haven't learned to hate themselves yet. They haven't learned to compare. They just want to walk, so they walk. You were like that once, before the world taught you to be perfect or nothing.
You're right. I remember drawing constantly as a kid, never caring if it was good or bad. When did I start fearing judgment?
When you started believing your worth lived in others' eyes. When you traded creative joy for approval. When you chose safety over authenticity.
And now I'm 30. looking back at nothing but safe choices. Safe job, safe life, safe emotions. So safe that I'm suffocating.
Safety is the greatest illusion. You think accounting is safe until AI replaces you. You think not following passion is safe until depression replaces joy. You're trading vibrant risk for guaranteed slow death.
I never saw it that way. I always thought I was choosing the path of least risk.
Not pursuing what you truly want. That's the biggest risk. The risk of dying without having lived. The risk your child grows up watching you and learns men must endure and resent in silence.
No, I don't want that for my kid. I want them to be brave, to chase their dreams.
Then show them it's possible. Not with words, with actions. Pick up the paintbrush. Write the first page. Take that photo with your whole soul.
I'm afraid my wife will think I'm crazy. Afraid my mom will worry. Afraid friends will mock me.
Does your wife love a man or a money-making corpse? Does your mother want a stable son or a happy one? Friends mocking you, those same people living in fear just like you.
Maybe I'm projecting my fears onto them. Maybe they'd support me. Or at least some would understand.
Or maybe not. And that's not your business. Your business is living your life, not performing the play they want to watch. When you start living authentically, you'll attract others who want to live authentically too.
Like some kind of gravitational pull. When I change, everything around me changes.
When you change, how you see everything changes. Responsibility stops being shackles and becomes conscious choice. Work stops being prison and becomes temporary tool. Family stops being burden and becomes reason to be strong.
I'm starting to get it. Those rappers, influencers I envy, they have responsibilities too. They just see them differently.
They turn responsibility into fuel, not excuses. Contract deadlines, fuel for creativity. Fan pressure, fuel to push boundaries. You have a family to feed. That can be fuel for not being allowed to be mediocre.
Not allowed to be mediocre. I like that. Not for ego, but because my kid deserves an extraordinary father.
Ha ha ha. Now you're talking like someone who's truly free. Not free from responsibility, free to choose meaning for your responsibilities. But remember, talk is cheap. I need specific action.
15 minutes of drawing each night, after my kid's asleep, before scrolling my phone. I'll start tonight.
Good. But when you fail, and you will fail, don't use it as an excuse to return to resentment. Failure is data, not a verdict. Adjust and continue.
If I quit, I'll remember this conversation. Remember that I'm choosing, not being forced.
And remember those you envy. They also sit in dark rooms, also face fears, also want to quit. But they choose to continue despite fear. That's the only freedom that exists, the freedom to choose to continue.
I have one last question. If everyone's struggling, everyone's scared, why do I keep thinking I'm suffering the most?
Because you only see others' stage performance and your own backstage. You compare your real pain with their fake joy. Instagram doesn't show the rapper losing sleep over deadlines. YouTube doesn't show the influencer crying from pressure.
So we're all just performing?
Everyone's choosing which parts to show the world. The difference is some know they're performing and choose their role. Others forget who they are from always playing roles others wrote.
I want to write my own role. Even if it's small, even if it's imperfect.
Then pick up the brush tonight. 15 minutes. Not to become an artist, to remember the feeling of creating something from nothing. The feeling of God. The feeling you traded for false safety.
I'll do it. And maybe my kid will see and want to draw with me.
That would be the real legacy. Not money or assets, but the courage to live. Enough talk. Time to act. 15 minutes. Tonight, no excuses.
No excuses. I understand, sir. Thank you for not being gentle with me.
Gentleness is for the weak who want to die comfortably. I gave you something more valuable, truth to live by. Now go, the clock's ticking. Age 31 won't wait.
I'm going. For the first time in years, I actually want tomorrow to come. Not to watch others live, but to live my own life.
When you pick up that brush tonight, remember, you're not painting to become someone. You're painting to remember who you are. And that, ultimately, is the only freedom worth pursuing.